on making that?
Well, he asked me if I could pull that for him, and I was able to pull a report today, and it shows me all of the meat codes. But that's not what he needs because
He wants the meat or the classrooms?
the meats, like the lives.
Liberty said they also change theirs every day? And the middle school changes theirs every day.
Then I don't know how he would ever keep up with them.
Because they thought they had to keep kids from getting in there.
No, they should not have to do that.
So I don't know what to do.
No, you should. You should not have to do that. Can you hear me now? 1, 2, 3, testing. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Burchett.
Here.
Gibson. Here. Childers. Here. Mulberry. Here. Crowell.
Here.
All members present.
Thank you, sir. The first item is always to approve the agenda. Is there any addendum, sir?
No, ma'am.
So we would need a motion approving the agenda as listed.
Second.
So a motion by Carseal and a second by Keith to approve the agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carries, sir.
Thank you.
First then would be a report from the staff here at the middle school, and thank you all for having us here tonight.
Well, thank you for having us. We're excited to get to share what's going on here at Corbin Middle School. We have a short slideshow. Sometimes when you bring a slideshow up, you can see people just kind of guilt a little bit because it may be long. It's not long, but we do want to showcase the good things that we've got going on here in another country. And I would like to say thank you to the district for putting together a technology team, because we've got members and it's a team that comes together at the board. But then we also have school representatives. And so I'd like to give a shout out to my school representatives, Mr. Corbin and Rachel Hubbard, for working on this and putting this together. They take what's in my mind and kind of put it out here so you guys can see it. When we started, I thought, what are we going to share and how are we going to share this and what are we doing? I would like to start with our mission and vision at Corbin Middle School, and I didn't come up with this. This was the mission and the vision that I inherited, and when I decided that this mission and vision fit who I am, and that's why I'm here. And so regardless if we are in person or if we are hybrid or we're virtual, this is what Corbin Middle School is about. And going into this virtual season where it's uncertain, I have found that people find their grounding, foundation, and footing. If you always go back to why are we doing this? What are we going to do? We are doing this because we say that all students can learn and all students will learn. And that is just a competitive spirit of trying to find out any way that we can that our students can learn and that they can achieve mastery regardless of these things that are listed. And then our purpose down here is to educate all students to a high level of academic performance while fostering growth in social, emotional behavior, and attitudes. And that social, emotional component has become even more so highlighted while we're virtual. And you will get to see as we go through this slideshow, not only are we after the academics, but we are trying to bring students together in some form or fashion to look at that mental health component. And so that's why we've started with our mission statement. So as we go through this, you can see what we're doing to support that. We say all students can and will learn, and of course that's our student academic achievement. And then we have supports built in, and then also our social emotional learning. The three big components that was our purpose. Here we have a slide of student achievement, and we have been MAC testing, and we always MAC test our students, and so we have gotten to do that virtually, and that MAC test is aligned nationally so we can project what students would do and score on the plan test and the ACT test. So we've been able to MAC test virtually all of our students, and we're excited about that because we're after trying to have routine, what we always do, and so they're used to that. We also have virtual tutoring from our academic interventionists, and that's going to be our Promise Neighborhood folks, so shout outs to them for partnering with us still. And I just have Miss Brandy Philpott's schedule. Miss Jennifer Phipps does the math. Miss Philpott, she does the language arts. And so looking at this schedule, she meets with language arts classes 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So she's in there virtually with the teacher, with sometimes another collaborators. You could have the possibility of 3 teachers in class. And she also has these Google Meets where we can invite students to come in for one-on-one, for tutoring, and that would be our methods. RTI, and we're doing that as part of our intervention as well. Our Ready Elements Academy is we're really excited about that. Teachers are capitalizing on it, inviting students in. We're doing one-on-one instruction. We're doing small groups through that Ready Elements Academy. And then that will also have our teacher office hours where you can call and meet to get with those. And then you're probably going to see some collaborative lessons in this last or this next slide. And so this is a small clip. This is one of our teachers here, Miss Jenny Jackson, and she teaches 8th grade language arts. And so what you will see is she is in her classroom and she's doing this lesson. And so Ms. Harden, shout out to Ms. Harden as well, because she has put all of this together and you're going to get to see some of her work. But it will go into Ms. Brandy Webb. Brandy Webb is a collaborator. She's in her own classroom, but they're in the same lesson. So you'll get to see some of that. So I just wanted you to see that those two ladies working together, where it cut from Miss Jackson to Miss Webb, it was the same sentence. So they're doing the same thing in the classroom, although they're in their opposite classrooms. So we just wanted to showcase this collaboration as well. And a lot of our teachers who provide services for maybe reading and writing, they are recording themselves reading a text, posting it in a video, so that a student can access it at any time. It doesn't have to be just during that class time. They can access it at 7 if they feel like, I need to hear that read again. They go into their video, pop that, and Ms. Webb will read that to them at any time. Just a few shots of virtual learning here at Corbin Middle School. And so we continue to do the Pledge of Allegiance. That's something that we have always done here at Corbin Middle School, and we still do that virtually. We still do the announcements virtually. Ms. Cecil does our announcements. And so we're trying to build some type of normalcy, even though we know that there's no normalcy. We're still trying to provide those things and a little bit of that structure that students would get if they were here. And so that's what these shots are during the national anthem. You can see Coach Jackson down here, and he is lecturing. He's got his screen pulled up. So we just wanted to show kind of what it looks like here at Corbin Middle School. This next slide will be choir. And I think on this slide, you will see a young man who is showcasing learning his Christmas music, because we're still learning Christmas music. That's what we would do if we were in person. And so this young man not only shared his music production with his choir teacher, he had to learn the music first of all, then he had to record himself, and he recorded his video, then he had to learn to upload it and share it with his teacher. So he's done all of those things to get to 2 bits. And I think it cuts to Mrs. Barr, our choir teacher, and you will see her instructing her students in choir. You don't see her screen, but you know that they're there in that virtual meeting. And then it may break away to our Veterans Day.
Well, I love Miss Corbin. I was way more impressed with the kid. Because to sing by yourself like that, that is amazing.
She shared that with us, 15 of us still work by Polar Express, and we just all stopped in the office and went, oh, Christmas song by us too. And, you know, we did have his permission, we got his permission to share the gift. And so it was just a thing. You cannot share that with the board meeting. I mean, what, it just makes you happy to hear that. So that, and then, of course, it's Bart. I don't know to the next time. Here is another teacher, and just so you can see the screen. This is kind of what it looks like sometimes, but not all the time. You can see the teacher over on the top, you can see the students over here. They got their knots here, but then she is also sharing her screen. And so this is what they have learned. The teachers have learned so much. And also, I don't know that it's showcased here on our presentation, but there's a thing called a jam board. We're going to share that out. I think Miss Sarah Watkins is going to share that next week. But it's our math teachers have been using it, and some of our other teachers, where they can see the teacher, they can see the teacher working out the problem, and then the teacher can see the students. And so it's really powerful where you can see all of that. And I've heard the teacher say, if you will pin that to your jam board. Now, I don't know exactly how to do that, but I have seen it, and so it's so powerful that the teachers can do that. This is just some of the support that we've been offering here at Corbin Middle School: home visits, parent contact, and teacher contact. When we put this slide up, this is Mr. Evan Robinson, and he's our assistant principal, and he's new at Corbin Middle School. And we were laughing. He's like, hey, there's my stats. And I said, looks like you're in the running for Rookie of the Year. So we're putting stats up here. And he has done 40 plus home visits for 21 students. That's in conjunction with our SRO. Over 100 plus students and families have been contacted, spearheaded by Mr. Robinson, and then these people around Corbin are in there for attendance, grades, behavior, and initiative for increased teacher contacts to students and families, and then inviting students for small group instruction. And so he has really enjoyed, reading the papers and just contacting students. And so that's a huge support there. Miss Cecil has been on home visits, and then I have a patient going on one today. So just trying to support our students, even though they aren't here. We would do these things here. We're trying to do that increase. We also are trying to bring in that social emotional component that I talked about in the purpose of Corbin Middle School. And so we have an A&A curriculum. We've always had that curriculum. Most of you might know it as a homeroom. We have that A&A curriculum. We still offer counseling here virtually, and then trying to have a sense of community. Our next slide, I think that you may see Suzanne Gibbs. She is our counselor, and she is working on this A&A curriculum. So I'll let you watch maybe a tidbit of her. And what she will do on Monday, she will introduce a lesson herself. We pump it into the classrooms in A&A, and the students can access that. And then she also can open up Google Meets where students have access to her as well.
Happy Monday morning for the middle, and welcome back from fall break. Ms. Gibbs here with our weekly Monday message. I hope you had a great fall break, even though it was short. The weather was wonderful, so hopefully you were able to relax, enjoy yourself, take a break from all those assignments and due dates and Google Meets, and hopefully get outside and enjoy the weather. So 2 Mondays ago, we discussed cyber safety because October is School Safety Month. And as middle schoolers, you all are online all the time, both for school and also for entertainment and social purposes. So it's very important to make sure that we're being good digital citizens and staying safe when we're online. October is also Bullying Prevention Month. So today we're going to discuss another aspect of school safety and cyber safety, which is cyberbullying. It's especially
So over here on the side, you can see some of the curriculum that we talk about in A&A as far as bullying, digital citizenship, and suicide prevention. But in that curriculum, it's not so rigid where it is like a lesson and we have to do this. Yes, we want to educate our students on these things, but that is a time where teachers can talk to students because we do have chit chat day here when we are in person. So we're just having conversations. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, did you had to rake leaves yesterday? Well, and so it's just a time trying to provide opportunities for that. And this is our media class, and I think sometimes that you may get the keeping up with Corbin. What is so impressive about this is that the students are doing it from home. So they're doing their portion. They send it to Miss Harden, or he or she sends it to Miss Harden, and she puts it together for keeping up with Corbin. And so we have, yes, and I think this is where you may see our Veterans Day. So even though we were virtual, we still tried to do a Veterans Day and celebrate our veterans because it's one of our favorite things here at Corbin Middle School. And we got such positive feedback on that. Some of our teachers and students said, you know, I got to experience this and I waited to watch it with my family at home. So everybody got to watch it. It was just a nice moment for me. Something that's
Honestly, that's a kid. You can know the answers. Okay. Probably costumes. Okay. And just say, give them a little touch. Welcome back to I have Corbin is also this week, October 15th and 16th. The Veterans Day program is a long-standing tradition at school did a virtual Veterans Day program. The program will be aired on November 9th. Every year, teachers like to honor the young members of students and staff who have served in armed forces. We also want to help program to avoid helps many Veterans Day Hi, I'm Lee, and last week, Chloe taught us how to make perfect puppy. You may ask yourself, what should I do with this? The best thing is to art. Keeping up the important family of happy birthday. Mr. Ronald, Ronald, Mr. Goldberg, Ian Sanders, Ian Holden, Tom Lincoln, Elliot Knight, and Yogi, Aaron Brooks, Ed Tuffy, Ed Hamilton, Heather Claypool, Douglas Swinton, Wayne Porter, Rhea White, and Louis Strickland. Good morning. I would like to extend a welcome to our families, our friends, our distinguished guests, our veterans.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heather Fitzgerald has been a local, state, and national advocate for military veterans for over 20 years. She has served as governor this year and Governor Bennett as the Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner of the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather Fitzgerald, and I'm the Lord City Officer with you today to talk about honoring our nation's military veterans. At CMS, we are proud to honor all veterans who have served our country, but we have a special place in our hearts for the veterans who have left our school and community. Please join us in reviewing this presentation of veterans who include many members of our students for their sacrifices and service.
So I think that would be the end of our presentation. I also want to say that we do have our Family Resource Center and Youth Service Center folk with Michelle McDonald and Ashley Clark of Thomas Neighborhood, who also are supporting our students, getting ready to do a type of Thanksgiving dinner. They're also hosting a virtual lunch where students can just log on to their meeting. They're just having lunch together and just talking. So there's so many things that's going on, and that is just a cross section of what we have here at Corbin Middle School. It doesn't replace our students being here, we know that, but we are trying everything that we have to make it a sense of normalcy, a little bit of community, and still reaching out to our students and just showing them we love those guys, we love our kiddos, and that's what we're after. So thank you for the opportunity to present. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great program. I wish I'd seen the whole thing.
We can share that.
So, next on the agenda is the school calendar.
You've received a copy of the school calendar. I had some late edits this afternoon, and Mark was working on those. We moved some days around. We found out that there's not an election, any election days that we have to take off during 21. So we removed those. We want to move, and maybe the calendar you've got for me, I don't believe it has. We actually moved one of the PD days to the 14th.
Oh, there goes our conservation.
I haven't really been talking that long. To the 14th of January to make for a longer weekend there. Moved one of those PDs there. And if you remember, what we've been doing is taking off the Monday prior to the November 2nd election day. Well, there's not an election day now, so we'll continue to go straight forward there, which is good because that's only 2 weeks after fall break anyway. But we will move that PD date to the 14th. And there's no action that needs to be taken tonight. You normally approve this in December. I've got the committee already set. I will send them out the edited version. They will send me any suggestions, edits, and I'll put those together, bring those back to you to approve in December.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments?
Any requests? I guess we put like I say,
So the calendar committee will meet, and then this will come back to the board next month because we have to approve it in December.
I just wanted to get what I wanted to do was get any suggestions that you all had. That's why I sent it out. And I've had several, and then we'll fix a few little edits early on.
Has KDE released any start guidance as far as how they're going to handle things?
Not yet. I would assume, and again, that's probably dangerous to do, but I would think that that they'll still have that boat dock bill, for lack of a better term, that if we start late, we'll still be able to do the shortened calendar if we choose to do so. But I haven't heard any of that yet. We normally get ours out. Most folks don't get ours out till January. Sometimes we kind of get ours out early. We've always done that. So I can remember. We try to get it approved in January or in December because folks have to turn in vacation at their workplace in January and have time to get that done and get first on the list.
Thank you. We had a written report from Mark on the Kentucky Mental Health Service Professional Demonstration Grant. Did anyone have any questions for Mark about that grant? Do you have anything else you want to add to your written report, Mark?
It's really only land it's 26 it's very good land.
We certainly. We appreciate that, and mental health is just as important as all the other aspects, so thank you. Next is the section for open comments from people in the audience, and I know Mr. Hibbard cannot be here tonight. Were you ladies here to speak to his initiative in some way, or did you have your own comments? Okay.
Feel free to use that microphone if you want to. If you don't, I think we'll probably pick up. Okay.
First of all, thank you all very much for living this whole time.
I'm sorry. Can I'm taking a minute. Can I get your name? Missy Butler. Thank you.
Really, the reason I wanted to be here tonight is I think, unfortunately, I'm sure you've all been told that there's a lot of teachers do a lot of negative. You're doing well. You're doing it. I don't want to be that person. I want to get up there and I'll tell one day, my son is a student at middle school, he was 7th grade. They're doing a fantastic job. The teachers, I think, are doing as well as can be expected in this situation. And I kind of wanted to give it just a little different perspective. I'm not coming up here today struggling. My son is straight A's student. He's not getting talented. He's always been on academic. He's a fantastic. His grades are great. He is doing okay socially. He plays football, so we've had that. He's been ready when that's over because that's the end of his social life. There's nothing else for him to get to do, talk to his friends, be around. He is dying for that, even if it's today. My husband and I both work. A lot of my work day is FaceTime. Not that his teachers aren't there. I think, when they get done with, when they get done with their time of meeting, I don't know what the technology is. Teachers are still on there. It does require an email or he's one of these that likes to talk to different teachers. And for the first time ever, we have an activity that I'm doing, not because his teacher is not teaching. It's a content, it's a core content. He will eventually take the ABC. I don't even make sure and that is the way that if a problem comes up and he's helping it, doesn't have to worry about the manager. We can just do what I'm going to do. I do know a lot of people are struggling with it. I'm sure you all hear it all the time. We're going to stand up here and say stuff for possibly here. I think there's a lot of us parents, especially probably more of the older kids that are doing okay. We just want to change the try it. If it's not even a hybrid doesn't work, it just to try. I think that's the frustrating part for us. During the football season, couple kids on the team that are great students. So the only reason they were logging on to football is because the parents didn't know what was home. So we had, the joke because we have a butler and maid in our house because, my son's team knows or my husband's one time. He's country up here. He will help. Not in a forum. I made that very clear. Before I went to work. But just kind of help. One very slow reader. So my son, when he was young, he didn't read the questions on the assignment. Again, I'm not saying nothing against the teacher, but it's different. These kids need to be in the class. Even if it's part time, even if it's 2 days a week, touch base with the teacher. What's your plan? I think at this point, my kids would be fine doing a hand activity and coming to school, just to see people, just to have that interaction. I feel like, a lot of other, it's not wrong, it is not wrong. If I was, I just feel like we got to find a way to make this work for our children. Of all the groups this is affecting our children, so many ways, or anyone else, period. They're the ones that are stuck. He's home by himself all day long. We don't normally do that. Because I can't put my dog in I work at State Farm. We get phone calls a lot because he never did. Because one parent had to put their dog to stay home. Because they've got little ones. It's just such a ripple effect. And I just feel like let's try it. Let's just give it a shot and see. Because we cannot do this forever. These kids cannot learn like this forever. It's not feeding with great these teachers, the job they're doing, it's not like this life. Period. They're not. How can you teach like that? I hate being a teacher right now. I can't imagine staring at a computer and trying to connect with your students. I just don't see how that's possible to do that. As a parent, and I know I talk to a lot of parents, I feel like it's not a waiver. To send my kids to school to release the school system of any liability that he didn't come with. And I know that sounds silly, but there's a lot of parents that will be able to do that. Just to try it And that's what I'm doing on, just asking, consider just giving it a shot. Some other counties are building and down the wall, and one last thing for a little bit, but we're back. I think it was around about the last one, 4 days, I still think it's the best thing ever, but I feel like it's going to be other counties can pull it off, and we can just try. Or just start with one forward. But anyway, thank you all very much for doing this platform. It's not possible. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you coming, and you're not saying anything we don't know.
Right.
But then I look at the numbers, and they're going all the wrong direction. I don't know how to fix that.
There's no good. There's not. I hate to do it. It's heartbreaking.
We could, however, all move to McCreary County. It is the only yellow county in the entire state. So there are now 92 counties in the red, one county in the yellow, the rest are in the orange. We have 120, so we can all do that math if I had a brain left at this time of day. Yeah. Yeah. I worry about them all every day. I don't sleep much. Thank you. Did you also want to speak?
Could you share your name, please?
Yes, I'm also eloquently spoken, so I have to write everything down.
I wrote it down. She told me. Yeah.
Okay. Hello. My name is Teresa Dawson, and I'm a 5-year-old girl that needs to from Corbin. As well as a 4-year-old, whom I'm from Corbin. To start, I want to thank you for taking the time to meet. While we are concerned with the improvement with the ultimate improvement, it is what it is, and it's what it is. At this point in the school year, I believe I can speak for a lot of students when I say it's a village and our children in the village. You see, I'm not a complicated person. With that said, I have prayed a lot about this moment every day for the past week, and finally last night I got in the word. It should be clear about our when your good mind also with that. We stand before you with extreme concern about our children's education, their peers, and community. I just talk a lot about all of my family's personal struggles and communities that I'm sure we have heard. If not, I encourage you to listen to the but instead of giving another struggle story, because at this point we are all struggling, I'm going to share with you my voice for the children who live in me, and more importantly, the children who don't have someone to do it for them. The ones that have been lost in the world of virtual school, haven't logged on today, maybe straight A's, straight B's. The children who need a school to be a escape from reality, because their reality is something you or I have faced and live in very not thoroughly. You see, school is so much more than that. If we live in such a small community, I feel like our community is crazy. Well, Mr. Gibson, Mr. Sawyer, Mr. Mulberry, I think back to the time I was a baby and nothing was. There was always a smile with my reading are the things I remember. The love that they would give unconditionally and the giggles to their friends would build a room for us all at house. When I cried over the stuff to throw with us, I was always. And when I finally got the skill they had been working for months for, praises and hugs always made it so much sweeter. and my children have the privilege of knowing access and outside activities during this time. They continue to love, they continue to get the love, the compassion, relationships, and happiness, whether it be at home, in sports, piano lessons, dance classes, whatever it may be. But the sad part is, and the reality is, that it's not the case for all. Miss Chloe and Miss Thursday, I encourage you to remind your educators why they chose but they have an awesome schedule, tons of great content and one-time content. Or, because of the love of children and the desire to help them speak and have on the class. Have they ever thought of themselves as coming from school? A part of me deep down wants to believe that not all educators choose to. And although we could imagine if that was the case, they would want to be in school as well, where they would make the biggest. Mr. Cox, my husband and I chose this school system for our children because of its outstanding educational reputation. It didn't choose us. A graduate of Williamsburg High School myself, and my husband could not choose. We knew even before our children were of age that we wanted to go to school. We had that much faith in the school. And we are now being shown that our child's every child's education is taken to school. And I realize that some teachers may fear in-person learning at this time. And I also realize that the board might also, realize that the board might be consider us a possible teacher or patient attachment. But observing them, I feel like the students aren't being put first. And they are the ultimate why the court and the future God exists. It would be very obvious of me to not recognize their issues that are in school in person during the evening. So instead of coming to you with all of our problems, I knew it would be beneficial to give suggestions or some solutions to ensure the safety of students. Some of you may have considered already, but it's present on the table. Obviously, the universal options available for classrooms. These include in-person learning with a hybrid model. And while I know this is not ultimately what we want for in-person learning, this can a little go a long way, and you would be shooting both copies rather than just one. For teachers who may be identified vulnerable population styles, and medical notes and physicians with presence virtually. We have an amazing resource in our backyard of two colleges with amazing education that many of your educators have. They are full of students who need observation hours, students who need students. Use those resources to help fill the void of lack of stuff. Better yet, put them in the classroom to help coordinate a classroom model teacher and work virtually. Use the talent of your educators to implement a leadership system schedule to encourage less contact as well as results in classrooms to be more successful. Do the same thing for extra grades and increase your janitorial staff during the day for disinfecting and contact areas. I'm not sure of the financial situation, but since we have not been in the building since March, and school isn't continuing close to the same amount that it's been doing all school day, I would imagine the school has a lot of money to increase such a janitorial staff. Lastly, we have seen from our neighboring schools in Morrow County that we can stop serving schools even when we are identified as red and not coded are so, it may not be what we refer to as normal, but it can be done. Now, what we learn to get is they chose to provide the cause of sexual education. They chose love. They chose real relationships. And they chose their students. We can't end without acknowledging the continued participation support. It continues to battle me that we are letting one group of students have some sort of normalcy while completely ignoring our children. people. I was raised by a football coach, and I'm a former coach myself. I love sports. In fact, we have been to a football game every Friday. That would have been a little more to see my family than able to do. So, since we all love sports, we are interested on that. Let me explain virtual schools and sports and other personal details. So maybe then you can understand my possibility. Now, we know each practice in the world of sports, usually for a game, a competition, or a match. You will never go into those without. Of course, sometimes they are obvious, but I will. Better practices equal better outcomes. More games won leads to championship, and it's always nice to have some goals in the game. We all as sports lovers relate many of our feelings in time. We see each day at school as a big practice. But in this case, what happens when you don't get that practice? You can't particularly do the test. You can't grade, college, all. We've been told all our lives that education leads to a better future and more opportunity. So I can't help but feel right now that so doesn't have to lie in the future. And I know what you're thinking is this is just before. We are doing what we can right now. Or don't worry about it. We will be sure to test them out. So I'll leave you with this. We don't have an outlook for this future. And I've never known any folks that want to speak from the test of the future. And if you're glad, we want to improve our time. As my father has always said, lost preparation time is gone time. Thank you.
Just to be clear, were you expecting us to do something with what you said? I mean, I've written lots of notes, and to be honest with you, you had one idea that we hadn't thought of about the colleges. That's a very good idea. I've written all this down. But we really have thought of all of this. And you always have a voice. You can tell us anything at any time, but right this second, we can't make a change right this second. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to feel like you're leaving and we've not heard you or done anything. And we appreciate you coming, and it's not anything we don't know.
I guess, more personally speaking, I really a consideration of practice, at this point, the way that you were speaking, Kelly, is I don't know my person. And that doesn't feel good. So, but I think about myself, and I think so, like, it's not right now.
Do you have a second for board member comments on
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Just to share. On October 1st, we as a board voted unanimously to return to in-person learning. I explained the position on that, and when we did that, we were in the red. After that, we learned that due to the legitimate safety concerns, we had enough teachers that weren't able to return to in-person instruction. That prevented us as a school system from doing that. We just didn't have enough teachers that could do it. So then we surveyed the teachers, and we asked, what specific criteria do you want us to use that enough of you will be able to return to school to teach in person that will allow us as a school system to do so? And they said, that the majority of them said at least, we need to use the state's guidelines. If we're in red, we as teachers, for our legitimate safety concerns, aren't going to feel comfortable coming back. At least enough of that we could do in-person school. So the board didn't change its mind. I think if you pulled the board right now, a majority of them, even though we're in the red, if we had enough teachers that didn't have those safety concerns that could come back, we would say, hey, let's go for it. So that caused me a little concern after our October 6th board meeting, because I felt like we weren't transparent enough as a board. We did make it sound like the board had changed its mind. I don't think the board had then. I don't think the board has now. We as a board continue to fully support, in my mind, the safe return to in-person instruction. While many factors can be used to tip the scale between safe and unsafe, we as a board elected to lead this district and having the statutory duty to control and manage the district and promote the education and general health welfare of our pupils. That's what the statute says, our pupils. I think we're going to continue to strive to restart in-person instruction when we can do so. But right now, we don't have enough teachers to do that. I'm not throwing them under the bus. I fully support our teachers.
What exactly does that mean they want able?
I'll have to ask Mr. Cox.
Because I don't understand what I mean. Or was that any other, that's what, and that's what I'm not sure exactly what you said.
We've heard it from the board now. And
I guess I'm saying there. I mean, but when you say weren't able, that's to me that makes it sound like they physically, because of their health, you know, that means that we're not able to do their job.
But Mr. Childers said he would have to ask me, so I'll be glad to chime in here. Here's what when I've talked to teachers, and I did the survey. I sent the questions out to the teachers to every building, and they responded to me. I helped tally the information, shared that with the board chair and the vice chair. Weren't able to come back is not the word that I heard. Okay, there's legitimate safety concerns. People are scared. I've had teachers tell me they've lost family members. And then I looked, and again, I try not to read between the lines, but there's something I feel compelled to say myself. I've been in this business for 29 years. I have never in my life done this job one day that I didn't think about kids first. Never one time. I've never had to ever make a decision in my lifetime, anything like this, or support a decision like this, because there is life and death consequences. I read about a 39-year-old counselor who died yesterday. I'm not saying that would happen here, and I'm certainly not saying that's the norm. But when the teachers gave me the information was that they were afraid to go back because what they said, we need to trust the scientists. We need to trust the people in the realm of the medical field that tell us what to do. We answer to three entities that I know of. We answer to the school board. We also answer to the Kentucky Department of Education, as well as the Whitley County Health Department. And again, through some phenomenon that I'm not familiar with, but we have been in the upper 5%, it seems like, in as far as the color-coded chart you referenced, for the longest time ever. We got so excited 2 weeks ago, we got down to the low 30s, and I thought we actually went out and spoke to teachers and had some plans going that we were going to be able to try to get back in. We've asked the health department to parse out numbers from the jails, from the colleges, and from the nursing homes and long-term, so we could get a Corbin number. I can't get that. I don't have that Corbin number. They won't provide it to us. We've been trying to get that all along. So I will say this. I know our teachers. Again, I can say this because I've been here 29 years, and I know almost every one of them personally. None of them want more than to be back in school safely. They love kids. They're in this business for exactly what you said, Ms. Dyer, because they love kids. They're not in it to get rich. I can promise you that. They're in it because they love kids. I witness it every day. I come out here and I watch these lessons. I watch teachers come in and call kids. So it's not because they feel like they want summers off or they want time off or they don't feel like this is an opportunity for a vacation. It's not that at all. They're brokenhearted because they're not here. And I will say this also: it's twice as hard doing this job in this circumstance as it is otherwise. I can promise you. And I don't mean to be agitated here, but it's a very stressful time. So I don't know if I answered your question, Ms. Butler, but the reality is, it's in my view, and from the teachers I've talked to and from the surveys that I observed, and I asked those surveys anonymously, by the way, so because I wanted clear comments. Those comments were that they're afraid. They were scared. And in my heart, I believe that. I don't believe it's for any other reason other than the fact that they're afraid of what's going on in the world. You don't have to open up the newspapers very much to see that this is dangerous. And again, 50% of our folks want to stay virtual. So this is not a cut and dried situation, to be quite honest. We charted just this week. I got finished with the chart yesterday, and I'll say this and be quiet. But 67% of the schools in the state right now are all virtual. Of the ones that aren't all virtual, they're doing some type of a hybrid, as you mentioned, and they're starting with their primary and the elementary school. But that's really my answer to your question. I hope I answered it. And I would be glad to follow if you have anything else, but that's been my experience with this. And since Mr. Childers asked me to comment, I felt like I was compelled to say that.
I appreciate the comment.
And I had as one. We had the option to say, I'm scared. Because our mom would say, no, I mean, that my husband worked in the emergency.
My wife does as well.
But, I'm sure at first they were.
You asked me the question, and I answered your question as best as I could. And no, ma'am.
I at some point,
Ms. Butler, all I'm sure of, and I don't mean to interrupt you, I apologize beforehand, but all I know is that from the heart of our teachers, it's not because of any other reason other than the fact that they have concerns for themselves or their families. It's not because of any other reason other than that. That's my experience. But I completely.
well, that's the line. So there's no recovery. That's not.
Well, the state has set the guidelines that we go by. The state, Dr. Stack, the state, the Whitney County Health Department, and KDE, the people that oversee our organization. I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. I apologize. Yes, ma'am. That's. I misunderstood what your question was.
I did that. I did. I mean, the thing is, to work, and on the computer, or whatever, it makes sense. I understand. It takes me all the time to,
Well, I think, and I'll say this and be quiet. I probably said more than I should have. But the reality is this: is that the state put the guidelines out there. We're not scientists. Our teachers aren't scientists, nor are they medical folks. Your husband is, and he's a bright guy. I know him. But when those guidelines are out there, then I can't fault the teachers for wanting to go by them. 62% of the folks in the state are doing that. But I can say this from a spiritual standpoint, our folks want to be here in their heart more than anything else. You may or may not believe that, but I can tell you, I talk to them on a daily basis. And I see a little kid on the screen, it breaks your heart because you don't hear this. I had a conversation, I'll share this with you, in that classroom this past Friday. Mr. Simon, I sat there and talked to Mr. Simon. He said, Dave, what I miss the most, he said, I miss not having the feedback from the kids. He said, teachers thrive off that. We were talking about staff morale. I said, I'm really worried about staff morale. And he said, Dave, he said, you know why the staff morale is low? He said, because teachers, they don't operate from a paycheck. They don't operate from accolades and pats on the back. They operate from the feedback they get from kids. And he said, we miss that as much as they do.
I couldn't ask for better version. The sad thing is, these things the other day, gosh, Mr. Worthy is so awesome on virtual. I wish I could do this time.
He is awesome. He's exactly right. That breaks my heart.
I think we all, everybody talks about it. I think we all heard it, wasn't it? That was enough. So I feel like we have to think forward. And I think it's frustrating because, it's like every other profession has to figure out a way to make it work.
But it's about being able to manage risk. So I'm a pharmacist. I work inside a nursing facility. I take care of 179 residents. That is more people in my nursing home than is ever in Baptist Hospital. They have 365 beds, but they are never all full. But that is a medical facility that has way more equipment than I do at my nursing facility. So I manage our risk with what I have available. The hospital is able to manage risk at a much higher level because they have so much more available. Schools are not set up to manage medical risk. Yeah, but at your job, do you let 50 people in the room? I don't. I quick list everything. Well, I can't let you think that our teachers don't want to be here. Some of them have cancer themselves. Some of them have spouses with cancer. Some of them have brand new. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons that they are afraid to be in a room full of children. But there's also all kinds of reasons that they want to be there. And you all have to understand how hard this is. I don't sleep at night worrying about this.
If I may, there is one distinction I would make, and I really never thought about it until now. My mind stays clouded most of the time. But you make a good point, Ms. Butler, about other places working Kroger's and those types of things. But I would venture to say that the people that run Kroger's, that they have to answer to, said, don't come in because it's very dangerous here and you're over the limit. The people at Kroger wouldn't come in. KDE is telling us not to be here. Dr. Stack is telling us not to be here. The people that we have to adhere to, and I respect everybody. Goes, let me tell you something. I work every day during this, and again, I don't have to be around kids, and I don't want to pat on the back for that. But I understand that if I were going to be going into a classroom with perhaps 100 different kids per day, I would have some concerns as well. I don't know what I would do. I can't say how I would vote or what my survey would be, but I think that the distinction there is that the people that we work for, KDE, the Whitley County Health Fund, those are the very people that are telling us not to come. It's not the same. It's just not the same comparison as working at Kroger, working somewhere else, because the people that run that outfit is not telling them not to come. Yes, ma'am.
So we all understand, right? We understand the risk of being in the field. We understand what the risk of we're educated enough, especially in our I guess have you spoken with the learning of marketing? They are going to talk about
Yes, ma'am, I have. He's my first cousin, as a matter of fact. I talk to him fairly often. We've talked, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel comfortable sharing with him the information he gave me. That was a confidential conversation. Whether, no matter what I say, it's going to come out wrong. So I'm not going to answer that question. But yes, I have spoken. I've spoken to a lot of superintendents. I spoke to 20, 30 in this area, and people that I depend on, that I look up to, good school systems, very, very high performing school systems. And I will say this: there's not a school system in Whitley County that's been back in school since March. And one frustration that we have, and Ms. Butler, you may understand this better than I do, but there has been, and I'm not throwing any health departments under the bus, because our health department, Missy, does a great job with us, and I make a phone call and she returns us right back. But there's a lot of inconsistencies among those. If you take a look at the numbers, there's a lot of things that don't add up. And so the people that are in charge are going to have to help us with this to get back. And that's the way I see it. And I talked to Dr. Butler, who I thought you might have been, because I can't recognize you with your mask off. I met you earlier, but I talked to Dr. Butler just the other day, and she said, believe me, we will try the legislative route, and we want to get these things fixed, but we don't want to wait that long. Neither do we. Yeah, believe me, I pray every night that these numbers get down to the point where we can get it. Every person that I know employed by this school system, custodians to janitors to teachers, are praying the same thing. We all want the same thing, but it's a very difficult thing. Yes, ma'am.
I would say being a coach, having to coordinate more than people. And it's really people as well. That's why I feel like, well, I'm sure he was in what is the key? I appreciate that. But I know I'm a leader and trying to give a little bit there to the little things here. Rather than something when I see the work that's good to me. About my husband,
Sure.
I know people practice and to this is what it is, so I'm ready to do that. And it's going to be a whole bunch of now.
No, that's a legitimate question. Believe me, I asked him that question, and Doug and I are friends, and other than being cousins, we're friends, and so I have asked him that very same question. We've had some long conversations, and someday when I'm not superintendent, I'll be glad to have that conversation with you. And I was like, that was why, because I was really impressed and
Paulette, I appreciate y'all so much coming here. This is what I appreciate, is direct conversation. I'm way too direct in my life. I think people left and right. But it's because I'm transparent. I say exactly what I feel. And I'd much rather people do what you all done on Facebook and email and all this. And I did want to hear from the board members. Nobody's trying harder to get us back to person in the spot. He and I talk a lot, and he's doing his best. So don't think that he doesn't want to get us there. And again, the teachers have legitimate safety concerns. I don't want them to think that I don't believe that. So it's a tough nut to crack, and we're working on that every day. But I do appreciate you all coming and letting us know firsthand and having this conversation. Because they're hard conversations, and we all have these in our every day to do this.
So I guess before we wrap this up Is there something that you're looking exactly to like newspaper and is there something that you're looking for in the basketball community? Usually, when we pull up and basketball here as well. We talk about this, so like, what is you have a people for that, or is this kind of, what do you mean by that?
Well, right now, what the board has approved is what the teachers have requested, and that is us going by the state guidelines, which is the red by 50. If something else changes, we'll let the community know as soon as we can, and then Cox is working on plans and things all the time. He's doing his best on that. So, but that is right now the standard we have. It's the state guidelines on that code. The board can change every board meeting if it wants to. That's where we are right now.
I'm sorry, I don't. I don't. And I have to let you know that I cannot count on those men that live on the river. I'm sorry. The father is not. I think I will say that is because it's not in the right place. You know, and he's not making mothers, but at the same time, they make the children see. And they're wanting to pray, but they're trying to make it wrong. And all they have to do is
I've got tea. We'll need to move on to the minutes and financial management portion. We did a motion to approve the board minutes from the October 1st and 6th meetings, and that we have received information about the financial management items taken by the superintendent. Motion by Keith and second by Todd. All those in favor, please say aye. Thank you, Stephen. Next is the personnel section. We did a motion saying we received notification of these personnel actions taken by the superintendent. Motion by Todd and second by Carseal. All those in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Thank you, Stephen. Motion carries. Under the operation items numbered 1 through 12, are there any of these that you want to discuss separately?
We don't really have it, Ms. Crowley, in the discussion items, but item number 7, David Jackson, Kevin Cheek are here to give us a brief
Yes.
overview of that. And there was a question by a board member about some partitions and possibly being able to be
Change up.
the capability of maybe cutting some of those partitions into smaller sizes. And I think Kevin's got some information on it. So we can do that now, or we can wait till discussion.
Let's just
whatever
pull
you choose
number
to do.
7 out and put it under discussion. I think that makes more sense.
We can, yes, ma'am, we can do that. Thank you, Garcia. The board's annual agenda is actually a month early, believe it or not. I got one thing done early, and it is. You can approve it tonight if you like. It's been corrected. I think I added the preschool so that we had a location every place, or we can pull that out and do that next month as well. To be honest with you, Garcia, I forgot to take it out of there. I was going to, but I just forgot to take it out of there. So we can approve it. Or actually, if you don't mind, I would rather just pull 11 and table it till next month, if that's okay.
Yes.
That'll give you time to look at it between now and next month. If there's any changes of the order of where you want the meetings to be, I can make those changes.
On the second page, just one little note, there's discrepancy there. You got September 19th. It's actually the 9th, but you got the correct first page. So
actually, I corrected. It was October 19th, so I just didn't correct them both. Thank you. I will do that.
One thing I had asked Mr. Cox to see about, so I would prefer to hold up on this, because where we are having to change the virtual meetings, that always makes it a special called board meeting. And I wanted to find out if we put on the agenda where the meeting will be or virtual as necessary, if that would eliminate that all being special called, which makes it difficult to change up the agenda at the last minute if necessary.
We've got to call in, and we have not got that answer
So
back.
I think we just need to pull it, table as you say, and we'll talk about it next month.
Thank you.
So then we would be voting on operation items 1 through 6, 8 through 10, and 12.
we have one question from the audience on those 6.
I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. The sale price on that is what you'd be saying would be a sale price of $500, which is equal to the, thank you, Rhonda, which is equal to the appraised value of that. And that's the piece of property that is adjacent to a house, and there's a lot of timber, lumber issues, and that is appraised. What I will do is if the board approves that, I have to send an unexecuted order up to KDE, and they would send it back, and we would sign all the proper paperwork. But it is a $500 amount that you're saying. Thank you, Rhonda.
So number 6 should read as, set the sale price as $500 for a 0.5 acre on Lake Street, Corbin, previously declared surplus.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve 1 through 12, taking out 7 though for discussion, amending 6 to add $500 in price, and tabling 11 until next month.
Second.
So we have that motion by Todd and second by Keith. Is there any other discussion? Do you need anything else, Stephen?
No.
All those in favor then please say aye. Aye. That motion carries. So let's go ahead and do the schematic design as our first discussion item, because that kind of ties into the construction update anyway.
Sure.
So what you have, first of all, we say that over the front wall, deciding on a difficult time. Most of this, like in a lot of movies, when they like company realize is that I'm all running. What the struggle is you all have to do is see the passion you all have and what it is that parents, students, the teachers, they care about the teachers. So it's refreshing to know that I made a quick note, she, presentation, that I've been thinking about this person, we've talked about this for a long time. You know, a lot of meetings today, like, that's been a lot of meetings today, a lot of things, talk about. I go back to that vision, which, why are we doing this, get which one or two contributors. So tonight is the first step, that we take, work is that we want. This is now a schematic design. Moving this along quickly to take advantage of the current construction line. The street, so we're rushing through this, but we want to make the right choice. You all have in the fact that we're using the circulating plan. We're basically looking at two programs, especially on the flexible labs. By that, we're making a lot of decisions about rough utilities, how the power is distributed, how the air is distributed, how the water is distributed, that goes for the lab. But we know that we're trying to train kids, students for careers that are out there in the workforce right now and keep skills. Give them employment, lead this program, and right out of the market, especially construction trades. I see it there, David sees it even more so than I do, because I'm not so much higher than the jobs. So we're building very flexible spaces that can give that. What does that mean? That means we're trying to consider what our upfront cost is, what we invest, how we put that money into the labs, so that we come back later and not have to tear utilities out and modify things in such a manner that costs you more money. And when we do flexible career pathway lab, it's how we look at those from the standpoint of what is the most flexible space a large open box. We give you as much utility revenues. Just be redistributed throughout overhead and down, as well as around the perimeter walls. Now, the question has come up, can we divide this in some way? We've got a space that's about 20 feet or so wide. And the dilemma there is what does that mean if we try to put off competition? Now, we all have been to convention centers that have walls like this, and you have the big 40 partitions across and pull out the wall. Those require special structures to support those at the bottom when trucks to the bottom. They're very, very heavy. So we have to make sure we make provisions in the building to do that. But that's something we want to do. They're also very, very expensive. And they limit you in some manner of materials that you put down and possibly weight, not hold up well in construction. So there's some concerns that I have about doing that in all of the issues, some of which I just showed you earlier. Now, what does that mean? If you don't wish to do this, we can explore that, but I'll only tell you the impact that it will have. We'll end up dividing grids and structure not only below, but increasing the structural framing above that we've already looked at as a huge building. Those of you who visit the buildings, they have large frames, they got small, 3-inch frames that run across the areas. Those problems can't support those partitions, so what we have to do is come back to an additional supplemental frame, which could be we have to drop some columns to support some more beams. In doing that, this large open space that we want to be flexible, we started adding limitations the way that can be laid out, potential repetition across the four parts. My feeling is, from my experience, if we all decide to do that, remember, we don't know what the workforce is going to be looking like in the future that may need different types of spaces. So that we put in may be in the wrong space because if we work with less room, we try to pull it across to make it that. I did take some time to study the floor plan to ensure, because I kept thinking in my mind, remember when we had classrooms, I'm thinking more down the road. And maybe the career pathways are taken off as well, and we divide into classrooms in case we have an enrollment change. We want to make this one marker large lab classroom. Everything we're doing right now, design development, is not impacted by or limited to do that in the future. In fact, we can take that lab and divide it into 2 large classrooms, on each side, and overall 4 classrooms. We can divide that plane up into 6, plus the tool storage, to become another classroom 800 square foot. So that you could get ultimately 7 classrooms in that space. Now, what does that mean? If you do that in the future, the concerns you might want to think about consideration, we're going to change the HVAC. Right now, in the vocational program, career foundation structure in most of them have a limitation on how many instructors that you can have, and how many students you can. So a program has a certain student count per teacher or instructor. We're looking at both these career pathways having a maximum of roughly 18 points. That's between the instructors. That's because of the supervision aspects of what goes on in the class. So if we take that and we change these to classrooms, we go from 18 potentially 24 to 25 in a standard classroom. All the HVAC is going to be undersized for that. And the problem is that you've got is that you can oversize that unit. Then you've got oversized units that are not as energy efficient. Or what you've done below, so you have more energy. In fact, maybe it's not 3 classroom, it's 2. So we have to have some very detailed discussion and decision making now to figure out what to be ready for the future, or we make the decision. We're going to build it for what we need today, large and complexity, change the curve, we put it down. We've got some extra space out there. We can add additional units, or we can be outside units for the unit. We can do that in the future as we need. But I really want you to consider these operable walls, they're going to be open from side to side. See, so the HVAC should work in, it's all open above, and the problem is how we distribute that air evenly down low to get the turnover for the air for those students with the CO2 level. Fair distribution of that. So we can find a solution which offer the walls. So there's caution more than caution.
So basically, 2 things. If I'm finding it correctly, which may not be close, but it sounds like if we're going to do those type of changes to make classrooms, we're better off deciding what we want to do and making those changes permanent, and not using removable walls or that type of thing. And so, is that correct so far? And then as far as the HVAC is concerned, we can then come back at a later time and resize or restructure or add AC heating air conditioning in the areas that we choose to. For example, if we came in and decided to subdivide one of the labs into 2 classrooms, there's space for us to come in and provide heating and air conditioning into those 2 spaces to add at a later date.
If you wanted to go in, again, keep in mind what the original vision was, all the way back to get to the findings. So, 80 is approved 2 labs. If you don't go in here and subdivide that, then you still have to approve that, which your overall student, your overall classroom practice is supported. We probably have an issue. However, if you said we can up the HVAC, if you can get subdivide. All of that can still be done. It's a matter of what you want to do today to facilitate that project forward. Subdividing it today, we're going to have a lot of walls and a lot of ceilings or something. We're going to instead of 144 feet, we can change the way that wall petition is constructed. It's going to have a cost to it.
I didn't word my question very well. If this is something we feel like we may want to do at a later date, we're better off waiting until a later date.
Yes, that is correct.
And then we can come in and put up permanent walls, and then we can come back and do. And see, I'm having oxygen deprivation here. Yeah, but okay, that was what I was.
Yes,
okay.
I misunderstood what you said.
No, you heard exactly right. I just didn't say it right.
I think the thing is, okay, to save us money down the road, it sounds like you don't really know what the future, other than what we've got going on, right? You know, we're better off just to do this. And my experience has been whenever folks make a decision, not to use analogy, they come to the situation. We met the principal said, I don't want bus route to go in. Right? And that bus route is going to stay there, that's what I want the bus route does. We need only the asphalt. The very next year, the principal changed. The principal came back and said, I want it to front. and it costs more to put back in that additional asphalt for that reason. So we don't know, how can we tell you what tomorrow's workforce is going to be made? We went through a phase where school and died when I was growing up. Everybody learned school and died. All the guys that were officials were going to the machine, and we had to drive our machine, gearbox, all of those types of things. Then we see a progression where the nursing and healthcare, and we begin to flood that market as well, and we're still a need for that. But what nobody did was them overseeing the construction side. 2 to 5 years, I don't know what that might be, where that shortage is going to be. I hate to see people make decisions that they go out there and on the next week, because I don't want to do this. We're never going to do that. We're never going to do that. So we make it flexible and adaptable, which is what we're doing. Then you kind of say, can we give you the infrastructure for that future goal, that future structure, what it needs to do, that adaptable out? Because it may need to be robotics. It may be a different type of industry that's going on, or maybe a totally different 3D printers. Maybe you may do a construction class that needs a large bag because they're actually doing those 3D printers.
We could, if we saw the need, or on the run, we could have, say, possibly, money, or possibly, like, the next week.
Yes. Yes. You can go in there and what I did, what I heard Mr. Thompson and Jackson talk about so often, is the space that 2 years down the road, masonry market is built for teaching masons. A year down the road, and this development right now, we really don't need plumbing, we need drywall. So that means that we come, they like these metal frames, drywall. Right. And so we're making this so that we're creating a space that we're going to teach and provide workforce ready students to a workforce that we don't know the need yet. And we're making the space adaptable to what we see by local being able to stay in touch.
Okay, so I have something totally different. I'm not talking about partitioning. I am talking about HVAC, but in a different way than you're talking about it. I'm not talking about size, I'm talking about futuristic. I want you to find out how much it would cost us to have an HVAC in that standalone building that has a scrubber and a UV light. I want a scrubber for all of the dust that would come in that type of situation because we need to meet OSHA guidelines. And I want to know how much it costs to put a UV light on that because that helps this virus issue 1,010%. But we'd have no other building in the system that we can use a UV light on because we'd have to have one in every classroom because the way our HVAC is set up. But that building is brand new and we will have a singular setting of HVAC. And I feel like we need to stay about that.
Yeah. We'll look at our talking about doing. That's a good point. We've been looking at that, discussing it, but until this pandemic,
We don't talk about it.
Never thought. It's no different than geothermal heat so that more efficient. So the scrubbers and your UV lights, not at all.
Kevin, on your flexibility analysis, you hit it head on. That's what we were wanting it to be, as flexible as possible for the industrial application. The only thing I was wondering is for the non-industrial application, if we do decide to turn it into classrooms, I agree, don't spend a lot of money if that's not even going to happen, but it's possible. And we just wanted you to be aware of that so that you can help us make a cost-effective decision. If there's something we need to do now, if that could be possible later on. You may say, really, it's not even feasible later on. But I think you're saying you all probably could still do that later on if you wanted to. But what I'm curious, if we just do it like you're saying, make it flexible for the industrial side, and we did decide later on to go into just a regular teaching situation, non-industrial, when you said we could do it at that point, what would we have to do at that?
What you have to do at that point, we're going to relate this back from renovations. We got a building here, got 2 large labs. What do we need to make it serve 6 to 7 classrooms? Worst case scenario. Well, we need to make sure we don't have to buy the units right now. And we need to get the engineers sizing the units, sizing the power, and sizing everything else that goes into that building to accommodate the future set of classrooms. There's cost implications, which David and I can work through. But we can look at that and say, okay, now we've got your infrastructure. Now I've also got to look at plumbing. Do I have enough toilets? You don't want to build more toilets in the future. Do I have the space to add them, or am I going to go ahead and make these bigger? So I would need to investigate that and say, you know, that value is back, so you've got the right information to make the right call, there, call, what you're like. We also need to look at the egress components. Does that change anything we're doing today? The corridors and village. Right now you have no corridors. If we add standard classrooms, that's what I'm going to talk about. An academic setting as opposed to a career pathway setting, then you're going to have some corridors. And that means ethos. But I would address that, and also address the lighting, make sure I have enough power. I think we'll have plenty of power in the future, but we're oversight this thing on power. Because you're going to have power-hungry equipment. You go to the classroom setting, you're going to have overly amount of power. I'm more concerned about the HVAC space allocation. If you told me, Kevin, as a board, you said, look into 7,000, probably most will ever do. I would not buy the equipment here, but David and I have been talking. What we work good together with is that you guys off me, you've got more square footage than I anticipated. Cut the square footage. So we look at cutting square footage, taking room out of our mechanical. Yeah, you're going to say, well, give us a large enough mechanical room to handle additional units. Have the power on it, or at least the rough in, the conduit on them. Have it there, so we got to do 70 units, whatever happens. And that makes it easy for me. I need to make that room large enough to accommodate the engineers that. And then we can do an alternate to say, okay, we use the conduit, let you know, okay, here's what the cost is. But I need to know the infrastructure. The biggest concern I've got from an incorporated standpoint, where you can have shoehorn this thing down and keep it as packed as possible, that toilet room thing. Not to look at that pretty quick and tell you what it will settle.
I don't want to do anything to diminish the industrial side of things, but that's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's the original vision.
Yeah, we were just curious if we did decide later on if there's something we should do now that would be cost effective to help us with that process. But I don't want to take away anything from the industrial side.
If I was in your position, thinking for that long term, I would consider looking at building space adequate for the infrastructure to have the room to do it. No one wants to see those outside impacts into outside the building. The difficult are changing and analyze. Let's go ahead and figure out what's going to take. Put these in your future instead of classroom. You don't put anything in other than power without power cabling, because it's not going to have those containers. So that you've got that ready to go in the future for that HVAC. Now, I can run everything else up, stud frame, 6-inch metal studs, and the height, do the jet board, line the jet board, create these classrooms without a whole lot of issue, as long as I don't go out of the wall.
Can you get us a cost on that before we, I mean, just a ballpark figure? So I think we would all want to know if it's cost effective or not. I mean, if we're going to spend an exorbitant amount of money that's going to limit us with the equipment we put in and all that kind of stuff, then it may not be worth our while. But we would also, but if it is something that we can do relatively affordable and have that option 10 years down the road, then that'd be good.
Other than when we come back to ED, First year, the questions. We will send another meeting with our cost. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else to tell me?
But you don't need any board action.
Now, not regarding that, we need to approve the schematic design. Because when they approve that, they're ready to go. I will be back here extremely shortly, but it's not about that much farther going down the road. So,
Well, we just voted on it separate.
We moved it down to discussion.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the schematic design is what I sent out, and basically that's just the basic floor plan and
you know, I mean, I don't think we want to share it with you all, no matter where we go on with several business. You all continue to be in fact, I got a county district, and we have to walk the lane on November 20th, Sunday day, so we can get there. I was in a tour for the runners, and we will see that. So I'm talking to them,
thanks. Thanks, Dave.
All we're approving tonight is the schematic design, which is what was sent out. So we would need a motion for that.
make a motion.
So motion by Keith and second by Garcia to approve the schematic design of the Corbin Career Center. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor, then please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Unless you gentlemen have something else you need to tell us, you are welcome to go. Thank you.
So are we.
Be safe. Thank you.
You know where I am if you need me, David. Next is construction update, sir.
Real quickly, just want to give you a little bit of idea. We're kind of back in the construction business again. The Corbin Middle School concession restroom area is already laid out up there. The footers have been poured. That's the one that we got permission from KDE for our folks to do it, much like they did the soccer building. It's going to be a really nice little building. We're waiting on some quotes from a couple people on the metal and the roof. It will be two color through block, which is really attractive. Some of you have seen it. You've been over by the board. Cindy gave her blessing on it, so the colors must match. But it will match this building in as far as the beige color and the red brick, and then the color of the roof will be the same color as this. So it'll be an attractive building. It will not look like we just stuck a building up there and added it on. The athletic warehouse down behind the baseball field, they've actually poured the footer there. The board approved, I think, only maybe 2 board meetings ago for Randy Smith to do that building. They've already poured the whole slab for the floor. Huge building. It's going to be nice. We'll be able to get some folks into that building that have not had a home before, as far as storage and those types of things. And then, of course, the Career Center tonight. And you've heard more about that than I can share. So just wanted to give you a quick update on those 3 things. But they are moving, and Dwayne's working overtime here, but his folks are looking forward. And what we are going to do while we've got unit price on a lot of the materials for this concession stand, we're going to build a press box behind the soccer football field. So with the storage area in the bottom, and our folks can do all that as well. And a place that we can have a place to operate the scoreboards and to do the PA announcing and so forth. And we'll be able to do that for a fairly decent price.
Any questions? Next is discussion of supplemental legal assistance.
We have always utilized the Shenworth Law Firm. I think they're in Lawrenceburg. Is that right? Lawrenceburg. And Mr. Shenworth, Bob, is retiring, and he's really been semi-retired for a while now. And Grant has been the person that I've dealt with pretty much since I've been in this position. And Grant is they're now closing their office, and Grant is moving to work with another firm He contacted me, told me he was doing that, and basically he wanted to still keep our business and do that and we utilize someone on an as needed basis. So there's times that, Bob may have a conflict of interest because he wears a lot of hats in the area. But with that being said, I usually think of cost, but I did not this time. But Todd sent me a note and said, check and see if the rates went up, and they did go up to, I think it was
150.
went up $25 an hour. I think is what it was, 125 to 150 per hour, which is, he said that's, I guess, because he's with another firm now. But it would be my desire that you would. And what I didn't want him to do was to go through it and drop the contract and all that, but it's pretty much what he sent us anyway. But it would be my desire that we stick with Mr. Shenwick. He knows our district. He's been very helpful in a lot of ways. So I would like to stay with him if you all would approve that, and if so, then that would begin January 1st, and he'll send us a contract to have you all sign and approve.
I don't know that we would need board action for January the way we were wording that email. I wonder if you asked him to honor his old rate that his good old dad has been doing for so long.
I don't mind to ask. I don't mind to ask a bit. They've been good partners. I mean, they were with us through a lot of stuff, but I don't mind a bit to ask that.
But I do.
Okay. I'll do some bartering.
Any other questions on that item? Do you have any other comments, sir?
No, ma'am.
Any other comments from the board members?
I just like to say, I agree, I do appreciate the two ladies and Steve, I really do appreciate that. And I know all of us, we all have the same concerns that really the daily force. It's not that they are totally opposite of what we're saying. It's just that we have to work in years where we have to have some type of consistency. And that consistency right now is being told us by all the guidelines. So it's been tough, and I agree with the trust of the teachers. And we've had teachers that would be willing to die, come here and teach here in our district, even though they can talk elsewhere where they actually live, but they choose to come here. And it's because of the environment, it's because of the students, because of the parents, because of the kids. I think this is a terrible time. And it's wasteful. And I really feel like I just wish I could. I just don't know that we can go away from those deadlines. We have to have some kind of consistency. That's all I say.
Any other comments? I believe we do have need an executive session for KRS 61.810 subsection 1. This is actually for K evaluation superintendent. It's just a midterm evaluation. There will be no action taken. And so, although we will adjourn to the executive session and then reconvene to adjourn completely, there'll be no need to stay on the line unless you just really want to, because we will turn that off while we discuss.
Motion to go into executive session for, under KRS 61.10, sub 1, sub K, for mid-year evaluation.
Good.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Darn.
So, if you all